Well, every time you peek in your portfolio, but particularly today, right? You look at the top performing names in today's session. At the top of the list, Salesforce.com is surging. Now, here's the thing. It's all about AI. And just earlier this year, Salesforce.com, the stock got hammered because they were falling behind. They had no real AI vision that the street could see. Down at 1.16% on the year. Now it's up over 40% on the year. And I got to tell you, I continue to marvel at these managers that have sort of written off the notion of a fourth industrial revolution and the key components from AI to Bitcoin and the blockchain. I got to tell you something. I am a natural born Luddite. I always tell people, if I was around when Net Ludd was around, I would have been breaking up weaving machines too. But I know that these moments have several things in common. That ultimately humankind enjoys richer existence because of the driven visionaries. But it's never an easy transition, and it's never without controversy. Today, we have two of those visionaries with us that the world will be talking about 100 years from now. Sam Altman later on in this show.
Blue Chip Crypto 3. Now today we have Fox 5 reaction video for Michael Saylor. I've been telling you guys about Bitcoin. Do not save cash. It's worthless. You got to save things that actually get you more money. But the world's not going to really take a notice of it. Probably in the next 10 years, 15 years, the world may find out where you have no choice. But let's continue. Here we go.
And Michael Saylor, MicroStrategy's executive chairman and Bitcoin evangelist, joins us now. Michael, it's so good to see you in the flesh, my man.
Here I am.
Here you are. So let's talk about this because there are three things I want to talk to you about in this interview. First, I want to talk about this MicroStrategy approach to buying Bitcoin because it's got Wall Street on fire. Some people are excited, some people aren't. So the strategy is essentially you're raising billions of dollars to buy Bitcoin. You have a convertible bond with arbitrage opportunities. Volatility is a financial engine. Usually volatility in this circumstance is a positive thing and also suitable for raising money in the future. So walk us through how does it really work?
Well, you've got one group of investors that want low volatility. They want a secure, comfortable ride. So we sell them a convertible bond. You've got other kinds of investors that want super high performance, the sports car. They're buying the equity. We borrow the money from the convertible bond market at 0% interest. We buy Bitcoin, we lever up the equity, so the equity outperforms Bitcoin, and that's great for equity investors. And for the bond investors, they can't stand the equity risk, they don't want the downside risk, but they have a huge appetite for the bonds.
Why do they have, I saw one of the critics that said, who the hell is buying these? Who's buying them? They said, why would anyone buy them? They have 0% interest.
Well, one group of people would be long Bitcoin investors. They're going to buy the bonds because they get the upside of Bitcoin without the downside. Another group of investors are convertible arbitragers. They actually buy the bond, short the stock, extract sort of a risk-free premium out of the instrument, and they can only do that with a convertible bond. They can't do it with equity, and they can't do it with Bitcoin.
So again, you face a lot of critics with all of this. What do you say to people who are saying, hey, you're making up financial terms? Like, all the stuff you're kind of talking about is goobly gop. And it's made up, and it's just sort of taking advantage of a moment in time when there's sort of a financial hysteria around the world, and it's not sustainable.
I would say that public companies exist to issue securities. So some fixed income investors, they want a guaranteed coupon, or they want low risk, and they want to participate without the volatility. Others want to make an investment. If you want to invest in New York City, you can either buy the real estate or you can invest in a company that borrows a lot of money to develop 10 times as much real estate. So we're offering investors whatever degree of risk and performance they want. And there's hundreds of trillions of dollars in the capital market that absolutely has to buy a security, and they cannot buy the commodity. Right. So we're serving their need.
The volatility as a positive from your perspective, I think you called it or equated it to fire some earlier in the week. Explain that part of it.
Well, imagine I have a 40-ton weight in my backyard. It's a sculpture. That's US dollars on the balance sheet. Imagine I take the 40-ton weight and I put it on a flywheel and I spin it 60 RPM. That's a turbine. Now imagine I extend the arm a bit and I get it to go 120 RPM and I plug it into a power plant. Now I've got a reactor. And so what MicroStrategy is doing is we're tapping in that volatility. We're using $40 billion of capital to capture the energy. we're powering our equity forward and we're benefiting the entire crypto economy.
Now, some people may say that this is a Ponzi scheme, right? Probably because they don't understand financing. But you can borrow from the bank. Obviously, he's borrowing from some people that's giving him 0% interest rate, which means he's borrowing millions of dollars. He's taking those millions, he's dumping it into an asset, which is called Bitcoin, that gives you a phenomenal return. I mean, this return isn't like this typical stock market where you might get 10% a year, but your money is debasing, which means that you have $1 million. Do you really have $1 million? If you have $100,000, do you really have $100,000? Most likely not. Uncle Sam's going to hit you upside your head, right? Capital gain tax is going to hit you. After capital gain tax hits you, your money debasing every year is going to also hit you as well. So you're actually operating under the wrong jurisdiction, which is the US dollar and or dollar, fiat currency. Now, I like to study money and I look at it like this, right? The maximum years that money actually lasts, the current system that we're in right now, right, is 80 to 100 years. So in 2020, or let's just say 2019, those 100 years was actually over. No record in history showed that currency, a certain currency, from us trading salt, us trading goods, us trading seashells, we had different forms of monetary value, which means different form of exchange, right? No exchange lasts over 100 years. We already passed 100 years. So a lot of people don't see the writing on the wall, but money itself is literally changing right in front of you. That's why your dollar not worth nothing anymore, because it's changing. Now we're going to have something called the blockchain technology, which is what money is. This is the new money. This is the new money. That's why people getting rich overnight. This is the new form of transacting. You no longer need the bank. This is how I know this to be true. Go to any bank, just on a random day. Just go to any bank. Let me know how many customers you see. Let me repeat. You can go to any bank you want to go to. On a random day, let me know how many customers do you see. That right there should give you an indicator that's saying, look, people are no longer banking. You can do online banking. You can transfer from bank to bank, right? That takes 1 or 2 or 3 to 5 business days to clear. Who has the time for that? Think about it. Our banking system is slow. It needs to speed up when you can send millions of dollars in a fraction of a second. That's what technology does to the banking world. So I sit back and I see and I observe and I invest in the companies that make this world a better place, because one day the people are going to see, oh, maybe he was right. Maybe he did his research. But first they're going to clown. Then they're going to act like it don't exist. Then they're going to cheer you on. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that this is what you was talking about the whole time. Okay. I know you don't know. That's why I decided to create this channel, to make sure people are informed, because the money system that you're currently in, that you think you're going to save your way to riches, it's not going to happen. You won't be a millionaire, a billionaire, not in this lifetime. It's not going to happen. You know, most people are delusional. Hopium carries a lot of people. I hope if I do this for 15, 20 years, then I could be at least. No. Then by the time they give you your money, they tax you on the money that they're giving in a large lump sum. Therefore, you spend 30 years on money that they're taxing it and taking it 30, 40%. Like, make it make sense. We live once on earth, correct? Some people may say that we reincarnate and live again, right? But that's another topic. I'm saying it all to say, study money. Don't watch what people say. Watch what people do. Study money. You will understand. I've been studying it for a while. You will understand that money itself is no longer the same. You have Bitcoin that I've been telling people about this since probably 2018, 2017. But I always had a vision. I always see things before it happen. I always was ahead of the curve. So it's like, oh, okay, I get it. Let them who have eyes see clearly. Most people foggy as hell. They can't see. They can't see the signs right in front of them, right in front of their nose. So saying it all to say, right? Pay attention to money. Pay attention to Bitcoin. Most of all, people ask, well, what is Bitcoin? Just know that in simple form, in layman's term, it's a technology. It's a technology that allows you to send money around the world quickly. That's why I tell people, okay, I'm a foreigner. You might send money to your people's home. You use Western Union. That is obsolete. If you're still using Western Union today, you're a fool. Western Union took your money. They charge you for sending your money. Then they charge your folks for picking up the money. Well, you can do simply a bank to bank, B2 to B2, directly to the bank. You could do it that way, but that's old fashioned. And or you could send them direct money. All they need is an app, and you can just send them money to the app. I don't think people see what's going on. You can literally just send them money through an app. Hell, you can literally send them money through an email. An email. So to me, Western Union is obsolete. But how do you tell people that don't know? You're wasting money. You're wasting the transfer fee. You're wasting the sending fee. Forget the money, right? Most importantly, you're wasting your time. Your time has exponential value. Time is the most important thing in the world. You're literally wasting your time. Who wants to waste their time? But let's continue.
And the conventional capital markets.
So, Michael, recently had a chance to address Microsoft to explain them the value of all of this Bitcoin. And you're obviously proud of yourself. We saw your video. I think what it takes 13, 17 takes. But I thought
21 times.
21 times. Not 21 bad. Times. Not bad. I think one time it took Earl Campbell like 59 times to do one commercial. I think it's a great opportunity, though, for to borrow some of these slides to educate also the audience, because not everyone knows the benefits. So obviously, I wanted to start with this because it dovetails into the whole conversation of the fourth industrial revolution, this technology wave, digital capital coming right after, of course, the personal.
Pay attention to what they just said. Now, this is how, this is the different era that we went through as far as money. And some people might think, hey, money isn't digital. Okay, well, if you can go on your phone, you can log into your banking account. Isn't that digital? What I'm saying is, what I'm trying to tell people and get people to understand is, it's already happening. You just don't know that it's happening. It's like you're the test dummy. You're literally doing it. You're the beta version. You're doing it. You log into your account. You send money here and there. Money isn't really physical anymore, except for the physical dollars that you have. Money is just ones and zeros. You have some people that can hack an account and put millions of dollars in your account. Money is literally just ones and zeros. So, which goes to show money itself had already been digitized and computerized. You just got the memo late. You didn't read the fine print. It's another source that I tell people, because I like to read a lot, and I come across of maybe I know a lot, but I simply just read a lot, and a lot of people don't. So this is the thing. Read the global trend of 2030, right? It's like, okay, the government, the CIA, FBI, the intelligence unit, right? They let you know exactly what's going to happen before it happens. Let me repeat. It's no secret. They let you know exactly what's going to happen before it happens. All you got to do is go read, and it's public information. A lot of people don't know where to find the source, and I just gave you the source. Global trend. You can type it on Google if you want, or type it in ChatGPT. I like that better. Global trend 2030. It will let you know where you need to put your money, what's going on with the labor market, what's going on with migration, what's going on with population, what's going on with the internet, what's going to go on with the regulation, what's going to go on with the infrastructure, the new infrastructure that's being built currently as we speak. It's going to let you know what's going on in the health department. It's going to let you know all of these things, right? It's going to let you know all of these things. All you got to do is read Global Trend 2030. Let me repeat. Global Trend. In fact, put it in the chat. Global Trend 2030 is public information. I read this a couple years ago. I read this in 2022. I'm currently reading global trend of 2040. They give you a decade plan. It's like a business plan. They give you 10 years out. Now, a smart person, what they would do is put themselves in the position, right? As far as the narrative. So the narrative states that, okay, money is going to be computerized. We're going on a blockchain. Even the health, even think about it. Most of the people are wearing wristwatch. Say, for instance, you got an Apple wristwatch and or a Android wristwatch, right? In the global trend of 2030, it lets you know that your health, as far as your health data and data, right? It's going to be 100% connectivity, which means that whatever doctor you go to now, they're going to have all the data points on you. Therefore, it's going to eliminate the, let's just say, the risk that surgery may take. It's going to eliminate the fact that now all doctors know your blood type. So now what's going to happen is that they can actually cater to you because everyone's body is different. You can't have just one protocol that works for everyone, right? Now what they're going to start to do is they're going to actually start fixing the problem rather than fixing the symptoms. See, for the last 30, 40, 50 years, right, doctors fix the symptoms. You can fix the symptoms. It don't mean that you're going to fix the problem. So if you start at the root, fix the problem. Now, these things are data points, which means that now all doctors, whatever hospital you go into now, in the near future, let's just say 5 more years from now, everyone will have your data. They no longer have to find this, find that out while you're on the operating table, or what's your blood type, what's this, what's that, what injuries have you been in, how many surgeries have you had. All of these things are computerized. So imagine that your health is computerized, right? Your money is going to be computerized too. That's what people don't get. They don't understand. Your money is on its way to being totally digital, and you're going to control all of it. Basically, I'm saying it all to say that for the first time in history, you're going to become your own bank. You no longer need the bank. That's all I'm saying. Now, and this is one reason I started this YouTube channel, because this is jotted down in history. So y'all can go back to all my videos. It's timestamp. So you can't say no one ever told you, and you can't give me credit when credit's due. I've been telling you guys about this for a long, long, long time. It's literally happening right now. Smash that like button. Tell a friend to tell a friend. This is the beginning. This is not the end. Blue Chip Crypto 3. Let's go.
Personal computer down to AI. What distinguishes this, the digital capital?
Look, when we saw digital photos transform, a lot of people didn't get the fact that Kodak was going to get replaced by Instagram and Facebook, but they get digital photos. Digital capital is what happens when your long-term store of value goes from a building or goes from a portfolio of stocks to a digital asset like Bitcoin. Bitcoin represents the digital transformation of hundreds of trillions of dollars of capital in the world.
Right.
No one expected to see it, so they don't quite get what it's going to be, except for the fact it's worth all the money in the world.
So let's talk about that, because you do have a couple of slides showing assets around the world. First,
this is how you know this technology is the truth, right? For every $1 that you have ain't worth that same dollar. For every one Bitcoin that you have and currently market now is worth $100,000 as we speak. Just last year, it was just at 20,000. If you would have put 20,000 into the market, you would have made 100,000, at least $80,000 profit, tax free. You gotta remember, crypto is tax free. So why would you have your money inside of something that's taking more from you? Your money is being taxed. So if it's being taxed, right, you're losing money. Basically, tax means you're losing money. Fees means you're losing money. But with this technology, you're literally gaining money. You're literally gaining money instead of losing it. So which quatrain would you rather to operate? Would you rather operate in a quatrain that you're actually losing money every day? You wake up, you go to sleep, you do the same thing. You wake up, you get back up, you go to sleep, you do the same thing. You're losing. To me, it's rhetorical. You know, that's the definition of being insane, doing the same thing over and over again, and you're expecting a different result. One day people won't wake up and be like, aha, Maybe if I try to do something different, I would get a different result. Maybe. I'm just letting you guys know. Blue Chip Crypto 3, you heard it here. You need to start doing something different. You got to look at money differently now. It's not the same. It's not going to be the same. Mass adoption is coming. Let's just say that only 1%, it's billions of people in the world right now, right? Statistics shows that only 1%, but I'm telling y'all right now, only 1% of people really talk about. 1%. When it has mass adoption at 5 to 7%, when your banks is going to start telling you, hey, you need to do this. When you go to your job and you have a 401k or IRA or your retirement fund say, hey, you know, we have this option. You can actually attach your money into an ETF, which is represented with digital currency, which is Bitcoin, XRP, and a couple of other technologies, Ripple, right? Then that's when you're going to say, oh, aha. Oh, that's what they was talking about. But someone got to tell you that. In fact, they got to usher you do it. Most people are programmed, so they stuck in their ways. I'm saying you got to unlearn to relearn. I don't know it all. I would like to. I would love to. But I don't, right? But I try to educate myself on a daily basis, keep up to what's going on, read different things, hang around different people. I can't hang around the same class of people. It don't work with me. I cannot be around a certain class of people for too long. It doesn't work with me. So I'm saying it all to say, right? Pay attention to what's going on. The shift is happening right now. Literally right now. By 2030, y'all gonna look back and say, damn. By 2035, it's gonna be in full effect when your kids, you can't tell them nothing because now they telling you something. I'm just saying. They showing you, nah, you took 30 years to make that much amount. I just did that in about a week. A week. So how about we trade places? See what I'm saying? How about you see you can't do things that, like I say, that's the definition of being insane, insanity. Doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. Let's continue. Once again, this is an educational platform, so we got to entertain you while we're adding value as well, because most of the average person not going to want to look into this. The average person would like to be told what to do. The average person would rather depend on something rather than trying this and trying this. The other person is scared of failure. So you got to get used to it. You got to get used to it. And once again, I tell people this: you only have to be right once for you to be a genius. You don't have to be right once. So let's go.
First, okay, let's start with this from again, geared toward Microsoft, but some critics would say when you talk about digital capital being economically and technically superior, no tax. I mean, that doesn't mean it can't be taxed in certain jurisdictions at some point. No torts. Legal issues are going to come up. No regulator. I mean, these are great points, but are they forever points?
The point is, I got $100 million in New York City and I buy a building. I got to worry about someone slipping and falling on the sidewalk and a property tax. But if I can snap my fingers and teleport the building to Zambia, Central Africa, or to Monaco, all of a sudden it's a teleportable building. And of course, if I don't have any tenants in the building, I don't got to worry about them defaulting. Right, so. Right. Digital capital is the ability to move the money at the speed of light anywhere on Earth and program it on a computer. There's a lot of people that are going to want that rather than having, pick a country in Africa where you want to invest your life savings in a building.
Right.
Forever.
Yeah, let's say Angola.
Right. And what happens if the government fails? You lose everything.
Exactly.
But if you could put the building in your pocket and go to the place where you like the government, maybe you get to keep your money.
Great. Let's talk about how it's going to grow. So in your presentation, you have this slide twice. The first one, right now, Bitcoin is $2 trillion.
And to me, that was an excellent example. Also, with this, right, you will have something called digital real estate, which means that, look, people are on your phone or the computer more than ever before. These are facts. You stay on your phone longer than you watch TV. I don't watch television, so I'd rather create the content for other people to watch. I can't waste my time. But at the same time, look at it like this. You're going to have things called digital real estate, which means that, look, with all this metaverse things that's going on, when you buy the glasses, you put it on, right? You know you're entering into a new world. It's right in front of you. You're literally entering into a new world. So imagine the building that they're going in, the clothes that they're wearing, right? You gotta think about it from a external point of view, like an out of body experience, right? Jump outside yourself, because everything that you was told, scratch that. We're starting over again, and it's beautiful. That's why I say this is the best time to be alive. I don't care what anyone say. This is the greatest time to be alive because this is the greatest reset, right? Imagine if you walk and you put those glasses on, you walk to a building. Let's just say that you in New York, and you may want to go to the Empire State Building. And this is virtual now, but in order for you to get in, guess what? You got to pay. What currency do you think you got to pay in? You think it's going to be the US dollar? You think it's going to be the yen? You think it's going to be the rubles? You think it's going to be the pound? No, it has to be something digital because you have you're in a digital realm, right? So therefore, what's going to be digital is Bitcoin, XRP, Solana, XLM. I can go on and on. These are utilities, HBAR, Algorand. I can go on and on, right? Saying it all to say, that's just how you gain access to these things. You got to get access. So, even with the clothes, you no longer have to make physical clothes. I tell people that you can make more money online by these games buying your clothes that you designed online or in the metaverse or in a digital realm than you do in the physical realm. I know this to be true. I know this to be true, right? Mostly people don't go to the store anymore. Everyone order from what? Online. So you already spending most of your time online. Regardless, we doing it. This is how I know this to be true as well. Look at your phone, right? Grab your phone. If you got a certain type of phone, I got an iPhone. An iPhone gonna let you know how many hours you spend on the phone. What do you do productive? What do you could just straight up consume and just watch things, which is programming you to think whatever they want you to think. Are you using it to learn? Because with great powers comes great responsibility. I love my phone because I use it to learn what I don't know, what I want to know, what I would like to know. I like to learn about things, right? That's why I come off as knowing so much, right? But I look at it all as a connective piece. What you don't know is what's keeping you in the same position. So if we have the power of the internet in our fingertips, there's nothing you shouldn't know. It's nothing you shouldn't know. At least I'm not saying no as a professional. Nah, you're not going to know everything as a professional. Sometimes some things take 10,000 hours, right? To actually learn it and etch it in your brain. Because we computers too. We have the greatest computer. It's our brain, and it's called a quantum computer, right? God gave it to us. So we already have it. The world trying to catch up and keep up. We already have it. Little do you know. We the prototype. That's why everything built in this world is actually, it comes from the body. Highways. It comes from your nerve system in your body. Everything that goes on in the real world actually comes from the body. Everything. Tell me something and I'll show you how it's connected right there to your biology, to your body. Everything. That's why they say it's a great saying that say, what they say, is nothing new under the sun. Y'all think that this is just fake? It's nothing new here. You just got to tap in. But anyway, so saying it all to say, you're going to have digital things. What are these kids playing right now? Roblox. They're building different things in a different metaverse. They are the future, whether we like it or not. Their way of thinking is going to be the future. They already doing it. They paying for things. They taking your mom, dad credit card. They are paying for different things online, rather outfits, rather tools, rather getting access to a certain room. Now the games are actually paying them to participate. Y'all don't get what's going on. Y'all don't get what's going on. They're paying them to participate. They're paying them to have competition within it to make the space a better space. They're literally paying them. Let's continue. Let me go check on something. But let's continue.
$1 trillion. You're saying in 21 years, $280 trillion. How do we get there?
What I'm saying is the wealth in the entire world is growing because of innovation, because of technology, but also because of inflation. And people are thinking to sell their Central African real estate to buy Bitcoin, or sell their Siberian natural gas to buy Bitcoin, or sell their Argentine currency to buy Bitcoin. So as people migrate their capital into this global monetary asset, that asset class is going to grow faster
than the rest
than
of
equity, faster than gold, faster than real estate.
But also, did I read somewhere that you're saying each Bitcoin would be worth the equivalent of $13 million?
And look, normally this won't even make the news, right? But the fact that Fox 5 is talking about it, CNN, all these old programs, these channels that tell you how to think and what to think, the fact that they're talking about it, you got to know something's up. It's going to be worth more. It's like, what's the point of getting a house? Your house ain't going to grow as fast as this is going to grow. You might be in the wrong sector. Let me repeat. Your house ain't going to grow as far as equity. It ain't going to grow as fast as this. Just last year, it was 20,000. This year, it's 100K. Next year, it might be 250. By 2030, it's going to be $1 million. By 2035, it's going to be at least $5 to $8 million. In 2 decades, it's going to be at least $13 million. You're in the wrong game. People playing the wrong game. Every dollar I get, every little extras I get, I just dump it. Why save money? I just dump it into something that's going to grow. I play the long game. You got to play the long game. In 10, 15 years, guaranteed to be an M&M'er. Guaranteed. I just got to live to see the beautiful day. Guaranteed. Because if you see something, you know something, and then you don't act upon the thing that you see, you the fool. And then I try to tell everybody around me. Some people, oh no, I'm okay. I don't want to change my portfolio. Oh no, I'm okay. Okay, you get up every day to go to work. You get up every day. You do things for these small coins, this small little bit amount of money, and you telling me you're not going to invest into your future? You're not going to invest into something that's going to make you more money than anything else that you ever done in this lifetime? Okay, you want to be for the streets. You want to go sell drugs, XYZ. It's no point of that. You can make more money sitting in your house on a computer. People, y'all got to wake up and smell the coffee. You can make more money in the house sitting on your computer. Hell, you could upload YouTube videos and make money. Everything is online. It's nothing. If you don't got nothing to do, something wrong with you in today's world. You can make so much online. Okay, you have a clothing line. Once you go online, you sell a mass amount of clothes. I tell people who got clothes, digitize it. Don't just sell it to the physical world, also sell it to the digital realm as well. You can make way more. Way more. But hey, I don't want to come off as if I know everything, because I don't, but I would surely love to. I swear to God, I would. I want to know everything that I don't know. The rest on you.
Yeah, well, when you crank in the growth rate, which for me, the base case is 29% a year on average for 21 years, that gets you from where we are today to 13 million a coin in the year 2045.
All right, so we've talked about the financial parts of this. You and I have had great conversations in the past about the humanitarian.
Pause. So for every one coin that you don't have, you're missing 13 million. God. Let me repeat it. For every one coin that you don't have, it's $13 million that you don't have. God. I don't think people know what's going on. The writing is on the wall. The lady is singing. The Titanic ain't sinking. It's floating right now. They missed the iceberg. I want to get y'all to relate to it. What you've been doing for these last 20, 30, 40 years ain't it. Obviously. It's literally not it. You get up every day, you go work for money, and the money don't work for you. So when you sleep, you no longer make no money, which most people sleep 8 hours a day. And then you do whatever else you do. By the time you look up, you only got 2 to 3 hours, 4 hours to yourself. That's slavery. If you didn't know, it's slavery. It's modern day slavery. You just don't have the chains and the whips. You're still enslaved. You're slave to the dollar. You're a slave, whether you like it or not. People pray for financial freedom, and the technology is here right in front of you to free you for all your life and for the rest of your life, for all the days of your life, right? You could be free, but for me to tell somebody that, I know too much. It's not for everyone, because everyone can't sit at the table, right? There's X amount of seats at the table. Most people gonna serve the table. And I'm gonna let people serve me. I'm at the table. Serve me. Serve the hell out of me. You know, that's gonna be the best result. Some people see things before their time. I think I got that gift. I see things for what it is. You could say this, you could say that. Judge people based on their action. Forget what you say. People could say a lot of different things. What do they do? That's the big thing, right? So even if you just invest $10,000, I can go your $10,000 into $100,000. Just $10,000, tax free. That's the part y'all don't get. Tax free. Trump just got in office, right? Now, people may say, I don't agree with everything this man said. But as far as the money owns, I'm agreeing with that because that's what we here for, obviously. As far as the money owns, right? The man got elected, things got skyrocketing. I guarantee you this, your house going to appraise at least for 20 to 30% under his presidency, but yet he's such a bad person. Anyway, people would tell you any and everything, but they won't tell you the truth. They would tell you any and everything, but they won't tell you the truth. I'm saying it all to say because you have to connect this to politics now, right? That's why I study politics, because if you don't, you're going to be ran by the fools that do. That's what a great mentor told me. Rich Asian guy that I know always said, if you don't study politics, right, you will be ran by the people that do. Now, we're not telling you to be Democrat, Republican. I think all that is BS, if you ask me. You know, because all of them sit down and have dinner together, win or lose. So who the fool? You. Think about it. They plan against your best interest while they sitting having coffee the next day, having tea, and the next day. It's a game. But just because it's a game don't mean that you should learn how to play the game. It's like Monopoly. Learn how to play the game. Learn how to move around. The game's changing, and you should want to change with it, because those who don't change with it will get left in the dust, sandusky. They're going to wonder why they're living all their lives, 80 years old, 90 years old, and nothing changed, because you didn't change with the times. You don't want to learn nothing new. You think what you knew 10, 20, 30 years ago applies to today. It don't. What's the song go? A whole new world. A new fantastic point of view. That's what's happening. It's fantastic right now. And most people missing it. Let's go.
Part of this, right? And I want to talk about that. You just mentioned Africa, for instance. Bitcoin's philosophy and political promise. This is an article from 2022. It's not just a decentralized peer-to-peer electronic cash system. It's more, right? This is what this article is saying. And it's going to have an impact on economies, philosophy, politics, human rights, and society. That is huge to live up to.
Bitcoin is a protocol for prosperity. Fire, electricity, steel, English, mathematics. You would give them to the world. Bitcoin is an economic protocol. Once you master Bitcoin, you can figure out how to save your wealth, how to economically prosper. It works for a country, a company, a family, an individual. Nobody owns it. It's a utilitarian, egalitarian entitlement, just a good for the world. That's why I'm so enthusiastic about it.
And particularly underdeveloped nations, right? I mean, this is what we're really talking about, a way for them to catch up. I mean, right now, if you're an underdeveloped nation and you want to try to catch up, you're at the whims or the mercy of the IMF or the World Bank, who, quite frankly, they have rates sometimes that are like, that makes the mafia blush, right? I mean, to me, you're always going to be an underdeveloped nation if you have to go to the World Bank to borrow money.
If you're a type 1 diabetic, you can eat continuously and you'll starve to death because you cannot store organic energy. If you don't have a capital asset like Bitcoin, I can send billions or tens of billions of dollars to Africa. You can make billions. The money will just drain out of your capital structure because you're storing it in a currency which is collapsing faster than you can actually generate it.
Will large industrialized countries allow this to?
Listen to what he just said. And it's the same thing I try to explain. All right. You can have millions of dollars and it could be stored in the wrong sector, which is the dollar or the pound. Let's just call it fiat because that's what it all is. Fiat currency. You can have millions, you can have billions, but it's stored in the wrong place. Therefore, it's going to be drained. 10 years from now, your million won't be worth nothing but $0. Because 10% decrease every year, 19% debased. You're living backwards. It's like a yo-yo. Instead of putting it in a sector that actually gains interest instead of deflation, it's actually deflationary, right? Your money is inflationary. That's why this goes to be true, right? Ever since 2020, if you don't make an extra $12,000 a year, you're back to square one. Let me repeat. It's 2024. $12,000. Your job ain't going to give you a raise for no $12,000. That's the first thing. That's why I say it's slavery. The second year was 12 plus 12, 24. $24,000. Did you make an extra $24,000? No, you didn't. The third year was 24 plus 12, 36K. Did you make 36? Did your boss give you a 36K raise? No, because they'd be out of business. From a business perspective. The fourth year, now it's 2024, was 12 plus 36. 48. So you will have to make from 2020 to 2024, you will have to make at least $48,000 more in order to go to live the life you lived in 2020. My God. Well, you could have took that same amount of money, stored it in the Bitcoin, and you would have generated 100K by now. Let me repeat. You could have took the same amount of money, stored it in Bitcoin, stored in digital money, and it would have been worth 100K right about now. As they say, right about now, right about now, right about now, right about now. Right? And it's 100K right now. I tell people, this is the beginning. This is, if it's going to be worth millions, what's 100K? 10%. Let me repeat. If it's going to be worth M&Ms, what is 100K right now? Just 10%. Hell, if you go to church, which I don't believe in all of that, but if you go to church, what they ask you for? Give a 10% in tithe, right? Hell, the hell with that church plate. You better go dump that somewhere else. Y'all don't know what's going on. Hell, the pastor rich and all y'all broke. Y'all don't know what's going on. Let's continue.
To live up to its promise. It's one thing to say it's a $2 trillion asset It's another to say, hey, eventually this will replace fiat currency, which a lot of folks believe it will.
I think you got to keep in mind money
It already
bifurcates into
did.
currency, the medium of exchange, of which the dollar is the world reserve currency, and capital, the store of value, of which right now real estate and equity portfolios are the world reserve capital. Bitcoin is emerging to compete with equity and real estate as world reserve capital. But those Africans, they can't buy real estate in the US. They can't buy equity in the New York Stock Exchange. It's global capital. And once you understand that, you realize that every nation that respects property rights is going to support Bitcoin.
Yeah.
If you go communist, full-on socialist, North Korea, Cuba, they're going to expropriate your property. But any place where people respect property rights and they give you a chance for capitalism and freedom, they're going to allow you to have Bitcoin. And the competitor really is the Vanguard 500 is going to get demonetized a little bit. And then instead of buying a real estate portfolio and a third apartment, you buy some Bitcoin. And I don't think that's threatening to anybody.
Wow. Well, the Trump administration, no, because they're talking about a strategic reserve. But, again, these nations that are in trouble, maybe. I do want to point out, I always talk to people about this, like Yap Stone money. A lot of folks don't realize, it was worth something, in part because it was so dangerous to go to other islands to get it, to bring it back home and to manufacture it. So there is a certain inherent wealth. All right, the third part of this, I got to talk about your saga, because you are such an amazing story. This right here, the headline from the New York Daily News in March of 2000, lost $6 billion in a day. Hotshot tech CEO loses his fortune. I mean, they blamed you for this massive crash in the stock. How did you deal with this then and stay focused to get to where you are right now?
It's very humbling. It reminds you sometimes that you of my 30 years in business, when I got to the point where I saw Bitcoin, I realized the elegance of.
Did you have a eureka moment when you put it all together? Was there like a eureka moment? You ran out of the house with a bath towel on, like, I figured it out.
Yeah, it's everybody working themselves to death as hard as they can, and they can't get ahead.
Yeah.
And that's because you're trying to do too much, but you don't have the right savings technology. And so Bitcoin was that way out of that working myself to death.
Of course, you still have detractors now. Give me an example. I'm sure you know Jim Chanos, for instance. Of course, famous hedge fund manager known for shorting companies. He shorted Enron. This is just a recent tweet where he went after you. Now, part of this probably is because you crushed him. I mean, let's face it, he was short your stock for a long time, and I'm sure he's gotten hammered. But there are other people out there that are saying this whole thing, again, getting a little bit back to what we were talking about earlier, it's just sort of a P.T. Barnum act. What do you say to the folks on the street that still don't get it?
Well, I think there are a lot of successful, well-known people that just don't understand digital capital. I mean, there were successful people running Kodak. There's successful people running Xerox, and there are successful people that didn't care for the automobile or electricity. I think another decade and they'll start to appreciate it. But right now, you're going to have a lot of rich, famous people that are skeptical until they put in the 100 hours to learn about Bitcoin.
I was just telling my team, I read an article recently that 20 years after the invention of the automobile, there was a movement to get rid of it. They said, we tried it, it didn't work, it's slow, it's not as reliable as a horse and buggy. So to your point, maybe it takes some time. I can't let you go without talking about the future after you pass away, because you've talked about establishing a sort of mission, a charity to support Bitcoin and the adoption of Bitcoin forever. What does that look like in your mind?
Well, I'm reminded of the fact that Rockefeller contributed a lot of money to a lot of causes, and 100 years after his death, people are criticizing him for something that one of his charities is doing right now. So sometimes you got to be careful about big charity. But what I would say about Bitcoin, which is just wonderful, is if you accumulate a lot of wealth in Bitcoin and you just burn the keys when you leave, you're making a pro rata contribution to everybody that owns Bitcoin in the world based upon their contribution and their knowledge of Bitcoin. So I think that supporting Bitcoin as a protocol for prosperity is just a great thing to do. And otherwise, I think, take the Bitcoin with you.
Yeah. Will you be known more for the economic success or the humanitarian success?
I hope I'm known for having taken the torch from Satoshi and went on to commercialize Bitcoin with corporations.
And I think that is a great angle to pursue. You passing the torch, man. This is gonna live beyond you. It's something you can give your kids, and don't have to worry about a lot of different things. It's actually, you can create generational wealth just by simply owning it. Simply owning it. And the thing is, you don't even have to have 100K right now to get it. You can start off with $10, $5, $15 every time you get paid. Put a couple of $100 in. Just and watch what happens, and don't sell it. Because why would you sell something that's going to be worth more in the future than it is currently right now? That should be your savings account. Last time I checked, when you save money, right, and you just have it in a traditional account, let's just say a bank, for example, what's your rate of return on it? They give you nothing. Do you know that when you put your money in the bank and you save it, you know what they call it? They call it a liability. Do you know that if you have 100K in the bank right now, 200, 300, 400, it don't even matter. You go to the bank and be like, let me get a quick 20 piece or a 50 piece real quick. I got to do something. Do you know that they don't have your money? They're going to give you a hard time. Well, sir, why do you need this money? Well, it doesn't matter if it's your money. Well, do you mind coming back later? Hell, they might have to close the bank down just for you to get a cool 20, 30. Something like they might have to close the bank down. Y'all get what I'm saying? So I'm saying it all to say the bank infrastructure is over with. Y'all just don't see it yet. These phones crushed them. And the phone is what? Considered technology. So why would you ever go to a bank ever again in a day of your life? You can open up a bank account on your phone right now. Why would you walk in there? It just goes to show where your brain at. Why would you go in there? When time is the most valuable thing, why are you wasting your time? Can we talk about it? Let's start there. Why are you wasting your time? You know, so I'm saying it all to say, right? I know it might be new to a lot of people. I'm going to keep talking about it because I already put my 1,000 hours in to study these things. So that's why I'm very ambitious about the topic because I want more and more people to know about it. Think about it. Nobody won't be rich by themselves. That's boring. You know what I'm saying? Like who wants to do that? You do it because you want everybody else around you to be that. So y'all can all have a good time. We supposed to live in abundance anyway. We ain't supposed to be short and shy of nothing. Unfortunately, we don't own the monetary system, so someone tell us what to do. But this is one of the first time in history when you can actually tell yourself what to do for the first time because the technology is changing and you can't say that you can't buy it and get it because nothing's stopping you. You take fiat, you take your US dollars. I'm in the US, but we're in the internet, so this is global. You might be in Japan, you might be in China, you might be in Africa, you might be in South America. Hell, you might be in Dubai. I'm saying it all to say, all right? This is the greatest time in America because you have a chance to actually buy the things that the rich class could buy instead of it being private. This is public. It's public information. It's not private. Normally, the rich keep on getting rich because they keep everything private. So you're like, damn, I ain't get a chance to invest in this because it was private. And you're not an angel investor. So how could you invest in something you don't know about that could change the world? You get what I'm saying? So you will always lose. They will always win. But for the first time in history, this is considered public. And even the private sector, some of the richest people in the world still don't get it, which is excellent to me. Because now you have a fair chance. They might get it 10 years from now. You know? And even then, it's not going to be too late. It could be $1 million. It's still not going to be too late. Like I say, I did the math. It's going to be worth 13 M's, $13 million for every one you don't have. It's better than owning stocks because instead of you getting a 5 to 10% yield annually or ROI, right? You get a 29 to 30% return on your investment. Think about it. And why would you spend your return on your investment? You just keep it right there and let it roll over, roll over, roll over. What is that called when you let your investments roll over, roll over, roll over, roll over? You don't touch it. It's called compound interest. So you're compounding your interest at the same time. That's ingenious to me. And you don't have to do too much by just literally all you got to do is hold and don't even look at it. Just add more money to it. Don't look at it. Look at it in 10 years. I'm going to look up in 10 years. I'm not looking at it now. I go to work. I work hard. I put my money towards that. And, you know, also regular life stuff. And you know what I'm saying? But don't forget that part because I was told by a couple of white people that I know, real cool people, real wealthy. And they always just said, you know, you cannot work your way to riches. Your body don't have enough energy. You can't run at the same pace forever in life. You will have to get tired and begin to slow down. So with that being said, right, you can only invest your way to wealth. So why not invest in Bitcoin? On that note, smash that like button. Leave them comments down below. I really want to know what you thought about this and what you think about it. And do you have it in your portfolio and or your ETA, your ETF or anything along that nature? And what's your thoughts, right? If it's new to you, do some more research. Spend some more time on it, right? Because we're going to keep drilling it into your head. On that note, peace. And I love all you guys. Let's go.